Coming up next on ECN, a regularly scheduled meeting of your Edinburg City Council. On the council, Mayor Omar Ochoa, Mayor Pro Tem David Salazar, Council Member Dan Diaz, Council Member Jason De Leon, and Council Member Jerry Lozano. Sitting in as advisors, City Manager Mayra Ayala and City Attorney Josie Ramirez Solis. And now, live from the Edinburg City Hall, the Edinburg City Council. Coming up.
Okay, time now is 6:01 p.m. We are opening this regular meeting of the Edinburg City Council. Looking about, I can see we have all council members present, so we do have quorum. If we can start with item A, prayer, we do have Pastor Arturo Chapa, who can lead us in that.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me to say the invocation this afternoon. First of all, I want to say a verse in the Bible, in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6 and 7, that says the following: Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Let's bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord Jesus, for your many blessings and your great mercy upon all of us. We ask that you bestow your direction, your anointing, and your blessing upon this meeting tonight, that you give our leaders the wisdom, the understanding, the direction, and the anointing to fulfill the purpose for which they are here, to which you have allowed them to be in their positions. We ask your blessings for our beautiful city. We ask your blessings for everybody that is in need. We ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. If Councilmember Diaz can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Everyone remain standing, remove any headgears. Let's take the flag. Take it together. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item 2, certification of public notice.
Yes, sir, Mayor. The meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act on December 29, 2025 at 7 p.m., sir.
All right, item 3, disclosure of conflict of interest.
Yes, Mayor. Under state law, a local government official is required to disclose a substantial interest for themselves or certain family members and abstain from voting on matters related to such a conflict. Are there any conflicts to disclose related to matters on today's agenda?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Item 4, mayor's report, just 2 quick items. One is an update that staff had given me to provide, which is the intersection of Freddie and Klausner, the temporary signal light that's out there. This was the result of a vehicle accident that took out that signal light going eastbound on Freddie Gonzalez. City crew acted very quickly, so I want to thank Public Works for getting so on the ball to put out the stop signs. Within a couple of days, Public Works was able to get a temporary pole from TxDOT, so we want to thank TxDOT for providing that resource. We do have that temporary light now going eastbound on Freddie Gonzalez there at that intersection. And what the engineering department is doing now is studying how to install a permanent light in a way where that island that eliminates the 2-lane eastbound can be removed. So that's why there has not been a more permanent solution to that light right now. Engineering department is looking at how we can turn lemons into lemonade and maybe open up 2 eastbound traffic lanes now on Freddie Gonzalez. So thanks to all the city crews for jumping on that so quickly, but just to let the residents know that is still getting worked on, and the city will be sure to report back on the progress of that. Second thing that I did want to report is that I have announced this in other forums, but I do want to recognize we have 2 students from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government who are visiting us for 2 weeks. They started last Friday. They'll be here the rest of this week and next week as well. This is all being provided for through grant money that's available at Harvard, so it's no cost to the taxpayers, and they will be assisting us in various research projects here at the city. So I just wanted to recognize them. If you 2 could please stand. We have Shuming and Nicholas. Thank you all so much. All right. So that's the conclusion of the mayor's report. We'll move on to item 5, proclamations. Madam Secretary, if you could read the item A.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Presentation of proclamation recognizing South Texas Health System, STHS, Edinburg as Forbes America's top hospital for 2026. If you're here to receive the proclamation, if you can come up to the podium. I will now read the proclamation for the record. South Texas Health System, STHS, Edinburg. Whereas the Forbes top hospital list introduced in 2026 assists consumers in identifying general U.S. acute care hospitals that consistently deliver outstanding quality and value. The rating system uses independently validated measures from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Provider Data Catalog, assessing hospitals on patient outcomes, best practices, value, and patient experience. And where South Texas Health System is deeply committed to providing every patient with safe, high quality, and compassionate care to deliver health care services that patients recommend, physicians prefer, and communities trust. And where STHS Edinburg named to the 2026 Forbes list of America's top hospitals. The facility is one of only 253 of the more than 5,400 eligible hospitals nationwide to earn a 5-star rating, including only 13 in Texas. And whereas a key component of the methodology is its strong emphasis on clinical patient outcomes, including mortality, survival, infection, and readmission rates. These outcomes are further adjusted for social drivers of health to support comparison of hospital quality despite differences between any given hospital's location and patients. And whereas STHS Edinburg is recognized for outstanding quality across patient outcomes, best practices, value, and patient experience using CMS data, highlighting the dedication of its care teams in delivering exceptional care for the Rio Grande Valley. And whereas this recognition follows a series of recent accolades for STHS Edinburg, including a Best Regional Hospital designation by U.S. News and World Report for the 4th consecutive year. And whereas the Edinburg City Council recognizes this distinction accentuates South Texas Health System's commitment to clinical excellence for the Rio Grande Valley community across its facilities, including STHS Edinburg. Now therefore, the Mayor and Council of the City of Edinburg, Texas, by the power vested in by law, do hereby recognize South Texas Health Systems Edinburg.
If I could, I just want to say thank you very much. It's a well-deserved recognition. The City of Edinburg is a wonderful healthcare town. We've got great healthcare institutions. We have UTRGV with the medical school. The future is bright for the growth of the medical community here in our city, and we want to thank what you are doing specifically at South Texas Health Systems Edinburg for what you're doing for the community and what you're doing to advance us in all other ways. So thank you so much for your effort.
Thank you very much, and it really is an honor for us to be here. Those were a lot of very kind words that you all shared in this proclamation, and just know that we are here, our doctors who are incredibly, we have some incredible talent that we've brought to this community, our staff, our leadership was all very honored to serve. It's a pleasure, that's why we're here, and we want to make Edinburg proud of the high level of care that we bring. And the U.S. News and World Report, the Forbes recognition are all unsolicited recognition that is coming to the team of care that is being provided, and we're very grateful, and we know that the high standards we have as a hospital will continue to benefit the community, and we're here to serve. Thank you.
Lance, before you go, I'd like to say a few words. I know there's more of your staff. Could you guys come up to be recognized? Lance, if you want to introduce your team.
Absolutely.
And we could get a picture for our records.
Sounds good. So coming up down the aisle, we have Kim Davis, who is our Children's Hospital Administrator, and Dennis Jirai, who is our Associate Administrator with the hospital.
Thank you.
And also Tom Castaneda, our Head of Marketing for South Texas Health System, is also here with us, as well as Jennifer, all part of the team.
Yes, sir. And so what I want to say is, for those that don't know, I've been in healthcare a very long time, EMS. I was a combat medic in the Army, continued I could tell you for years, Edinburg Hospital was kind of the second smaller hospital in the area, because you'd go there and get transferred over. EMS would sometimes go to the larger hospitals south of us. And so after a change of the guard, the leadership, the bringing in the investment, over $100 million invested in that new tower, this is huge that Edinburg is now being recognized. Like Lance said, unsolicited. This is that you don't apply, you don't participate. They do their own study, and that's a great deal. It puts Edinburg on the map in a positive light. Again, thank you for everything you've done for our residents, for upgrading the medical care, and the investment in our community. Thank you very much.
And thank you for your support. We want you in the picture. We'll share it with you. You're part of the team too, Jack.
I do want to take a point of personal privilege and go back real quick to the mayor's report. Councilmember Diaz reminded me of this. But if any of you all have New Year's resolutions to get healthier, I am doing a Running with the Mayor program. It's Sundays at 8 a.m. out at Edinburg Municipal Park. Come out and meet. We've got a group of runners. We're getting ready for the Edinburg 10K, which is going to be February 7th. I hope as many of you can sign up for that race as possible. You can run it. You can walk it. It's all just about getting movement in and being healthier here in 2026. So thanks for the reminder. Hope I see you all out there on Sundays.
I won't be there.
In spirit. Okay, moving on. Item 6, public comments.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The Edinburgh City Council allows for a specific portion of the City Council meeting to be dedicated to public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. I will be taking time. Please note the public comment period is not interactive. The Council may not respond to public comments. At this time, Mayor and Council, there are 8 public comments. The first public comment is Jose Rodriguez regarding data center.
Thank you, sir. If you just come on up, state your name for the record here.
Yeah, how we doing? My name is Jose Manuel Silva Rodriguez. I go by Joe. So, AI is huge. It's a rapid growing thing. The president has pushed for those type of investments in order to combat our adversaries and stay ahead on the cutting edge. But we have seen that those have also had issues, like in Tennessee, in Shelby County, by Colossus and XAI, where the residents there are now 4 times more likely to have cancer, and their neighborhoods smell like gas now because of the 35 turbines and the 33 that are constantly on at all times, and it's just not a good deal. That being said, Soluna is an energy company that is making a wind farm to support Bitcoin mining as well as AI. Obviously, that goes without saying that that's going to hit our grid. And because we have a lot of water here, that's a bit of irony, we can also run into issues when it comes to water. They have proposed with the wind turbines and with a closed loop system that they won't need as much water. But the question becomes what happens when they do. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So that being said, I do have 10 things I would like to just put on the record. Who pays if the power systems need upgrade? If this project needs new lines, substations, or other electrical upgrades to handle the load, who pays? The company, the utility, or residents through higher bills? Can you guarantee residents won't see a higher electricity bill because of this? Is there a written agreement that protects households and small businesses from rate increase tied to this project's power demands? When the wind isn't blowing, what happens? Do they keep running by pulling power from the grid, or do they slow down / shut down if they pull from the grid at peak times? Does that make the power more expensive or less reliable for everyone else? If the project claims it helps the grid, how do you verify that in writing? What exactly are they commuting to do during extreme heat/cold or grid emergencies, as we all remember when we froze? And we all had a lot of power in those times. Also a bit of irony. And if they don't, what are the consequences? I'll speed through the last 5. What's the plan in their imported cooling supply when it gets disrupted? That comes to the water supply system. Will they ever use local water even if they say they won't today, will they ever use the local water? If there's a leak or spill, who is financially responsible? Hopefully not the public. Does the city have money set aside for the company's worst case events?
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
What will the cost of the police, fire, and EMS?
Thank you, sir. Sir. The next public comment is Marilyn Lara regarding to voice concern about the possibility of an AI data center.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Marilyn Lara, and I'm a Brownsville transplant. I grew up about 15 minutes from where Starbase now is. With that, I've prepared some comments regarding my concerns over AI data centers. Data centers use enormous amounts of energy and raise utility bills in their surrounding areas, partly because the cities they are in give them free rein. They put a massive strain on the power grid, as has already been mentioned. Texas already implements rolling blackouts because our infrastructure isn't set up to support what we currently have. These centers increase semi-truck traffic for construction, equipment, maintenance, fuel supply, waste removal, and more. I've seen videos of kids living in cities with data centers complain that Amazon truck drivers don't care about safety. They blow past stop signs, and they've made playgrounds unusable because they've smashed into fences. So these kids can't even use their playgrounds anymore at their school. So there are definitely those consequences. They produce light and noise pollution apart from air pollution, which is a concern for me since, as I'm sure you noticed, I have a small child. Young kids' lungs are small, developing, and more sensitive to this type of thing in the air. Not that the air quality here in the RGV is super great to begin with. This, apart from the massive amounts of water required for cooling machines in AI data centers. So water in Texas is scarce, as it is. Furthermore, there's no guarantee as to whether these centers will be releasing water used for cooling their machines back into waterways. And simply because it's made legal doesn't necessarily mean it's safe or healthy. Water quality is abysmal in the RGV, and it's only recently that I've started to see people make connections between the health issues in the valley and the cancers that are prevalent in our area. And these centers don't really create local jobs, but they perpetuate the frivolous use of AI. Quarries use water, and while AI is useful for many things like education, medicine, a lot of things, it's being used in a way that suggests that it's an infinite resource without consequences. So it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it nevertheless. I'm categorically against AI data centers like Grok, Amazon, Meta, and the like coming to Edinburg. The hazards to our economy and health don't justify the payoff. Big tech doesn't have our best interests in mind, and so that's why I'm here. You, our city council, are tasked with that, and I appreciate you for allowing me to input. So with that, I thank you, and I wish you a blessed Epiphany nights. Dia de los Reyes Magos. Appreciate y'all.
The next public comment is for clarity regarding taxpayers' money.
Good evening, gentlemen. We would like to express our congratulations to those who have been elected. As usual, our position is that your spending needs to be consistent with our ability to pay without placing a greater financial strain on families. In simple terms, we cannot continue to spend money we do not have. Currently, the city pays about $8 million a year on bond debt. Think of it, we are giving away $8 million just because we have to have something right now. Concentrate on the basis of public safety, water, sewer, and streets. Moving money from solid waste to golf courses is not very smart, especially if you need to sell bonds to cover day-to-day expenses. Do not compete with the private sectors like ambulance service, funeral homes, legal services. I have always thought the cost of dying is too high. In the case of legal services, the city could advertise no cost unless we win, and a cost cap about 15%. Everyone knows where this is going. I will remind you that getting elected is like living in a glass fishbowl. Everything that you do or intend to do is available to the public. Do not make any financial promises to the county, and work on the plans to limit the impact of the installation of the drain from the courthouse over there on University Drive. The council unanimously supported for the appraisal district means property values will continue to rise. It also means greater pressure on Governor Abbott to increase homestead exemptions. It will take a long time, but we will win this fight. If elected officials keep increasing values, we will keep limiting your authority to make decisions. How sharp do you have to be to understand that lowering taxes increases development? Small businesses create 70% of all jobs. In 2025, property tax produced an income of $34 million, and the sales tax was $30 million. Either change the sales tax amount given to the EDC or assign them some community projects. I would also like everyone to pray for Israel and the last hostage to try to get the body home. And then tonight, y'all always have disclosed a conflict interest. At every meeting, y'all say no. My question, is there any friends, family, loved ones, also any business partners or anything like this that can be screwed as a conflict? So please check on that for us, if you will. Now, do I do the other?
You had specific items that you had questions about? Yeah, you can give us the questions. That's fine.
I didn't know if you wanted them now. It's a little hard, but I will do it. All right, I have 7B, and this is the traffic. This is talking about the property and how hard it is to turn into my property. I'm just giving y'all an idea. I just talked, I think, to the developer over there, and he was telling me, I gave you two papers, this one, and he assured me that they were thinking about or considering or not going to do the outlet on McCall. Because if they try that, there's no way in the world that they're going to be able to get out of their property. Or get in. It's kind of like over there at 107 in McCall. People want to come off of McCall and turn into McCoy's. That's impossible because you've got traffic that is in the turning lane, in the same turning lane. And the reason why I always gripe, I gave you this so you'll have an idea. This is where my property is, just north of there. The city of Edinburg allowed Nassau or whatever street to come out, and it blocks my driveway. I am in the center lane having a fight with people because they want to come a little more south, and I just want to turn into my driveway or my business. So this is why I'm constantly looking at these things, in case you wonder why I am always questioning things. All right, I have 8A. Explain what this is and explain the bidder list. I didn't understand outside fleet repair rates of off-warranty units and the capital towing. I have a gentleman that called. I said I would ask if someone would explain. And 10G, please explain why the city are not using local companies when they're getting the tires and things. Does the city get a better deal or something? We're just checking. These were questions that were relayed to me, and now I've relayed to you. Thank you.
The next public comment is Maria Sosa regarding ordinances.
How are you? I'm a little shook up about the firecrackers and the guns during the New Year's Eve. It's not a little. I've been living there for almost 20 years. And I know I came the last year, the last meeting, and I suggested to jack up the firecracker fines. But with what I have learned in what happened this New Year's Eve, nobody could stop them. We don't have enough people to go stop them or anything. And what I have read of the side effects of all the fumes and everything else, I thought about if it would be possible to ban firecrackers in the city limits line. These firecrackers were made in another country. What did I do with my phone? Did I throw it away? I just want to explain just one of the deals. Sulfur, one of the contain, and this is because I counted ever since, let's say, about 11 at night, all the way to 3 o'clock in the morning, everything started. Then I peeped out just to smell what was out there, to see and to look if there was any fires, because there's a lot of brush behind my house and stuff. And I had to go back. I put my mask, and then I counted the hours. That smell of sulfur and all the other chemicals that these firecrackers have, they lasted this year, for almost 40 hours. I started wearing a mask. A lot of people have been complaining about having flu and colds from all areas. But now that I read what sulfur does and all the other chemicals, it's best if we just ban. I'm just going to give you the answer that I won't keep you long. This is a thing that we need to all get together and get more educated about these firecrackers and really ban them. I don't know how to go about it. Just some of the side that it can get through your lungs. It can cause respiratory distress. It can cause paralysis to the heart, and that's only sulfur. They have other chemicals. They have aluminum and I don't know what else. And this is why I'm suggesting these things. And hopefully, you all can keep me. I left you my address in form. I have a P.O. box, and I would like more information. And this is why today I inquired about the city limits so that I can stay,
Thank you, ma'am.
The map. I'm inquiring
The next
for a
public
map.
comment is Alonso Chavez regarding
Thank
item
you very
7E.
much.
Good evening. I have a comment regarding an item 70. So is it better to wait until we get to that hearing, or
You can wait till we get to the public hearing,
Perfect.
or you can talk now, whatever you prefer, but you will have the opportunity to speak when it comes up.
perfect? I'd rather wait then.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next public comment is Jesus Garcia regarding item 7E.
Hi, good afternoon. I would like to also reserve my comment till the 7E.
Sure.
Thank you.
The next public comment is Daniel M. Tuttle Jr. regarding annual EMS report.
Good evening, Mayor. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Got excited up here. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to present during these public comments. So we're just going to do a quick rundown of our fiscal year for 2025, let you all know the great work that our team has been doing out here and a great partnership that we've had with the city. So over the past year, our focus has been simple. We want to provide reliable, high-quality service while being responsible stewards with the city's resources. During this reporting period, we responded to thousands of calls for service, maintained consistent response times, and ensured coverage across the city, even during peak demand and special events. This past year, we had the distinct pleasure of responding to 16,592 calls for service, again, January through December. 12,323 of those were priority one, which are lights and sirens calls, so your true emergencies, as well as your another 4,269, which were priority two, which are no lights, no sirens. Also emergencies, just don't need the extra demand on the city and traffic and so on. Through all of these calls, we managed to maintain an average response time of 7 minutes and 21 seconds. We've invested heavily in training, quality assurance, and accountability. Every call, every incident, and every complaint is reviewed to ensure we are meeting our professional standards and correcting issues when they do arise. That commitment is a continuous improvement that we've reflected in our outcomes and our community to try to continue to provide this great service to your city. Furthermore, we've provided 4 free CPR classes to the community with a total of 112 students between these classes. We've also worked with our community health care systems such as SCHS Edinburg to provide continuing education programs to the city fire department and police department. Internally, our first line responders within our dispatch department have successfully acquired their emergency medical dispatcher certification through the International Academies of Emergency Dispatchers. What that is, it ensures a uniform clinical standard immediately starting at the 911 call. So if anybody has an emergency, we're already walking them through while the ambulance is en route, while the fire department, while the police department. So the care starts immediately versus waiting for the ambulance to get there. Here at MedCare, we've also strengthened coordination with the city departments, the fire department, police department, and regional partners to ensure seamless service and delivery throughout the region. In short, this annual report reflects a year of stability, preparedness, and progress. We remain committed to the city. We remain committed to transparency, performance, and serving you and your constituents in the future. Thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your night.
The next public comment is Diane Teeter regarding water.
Happy New Year, Diane Teeter. I'd like you to consider these remarks about water, the stuff of life. At the last council meeting, I again heard the claim that Edinburg raised their water rates by 37%, but not the important fact that this increase is spread over 3 years. And when you look across the valley, Edinburg is not acting alone. McAllen approved a $14 per month increase in water and sewer rates, and Mission has added multi-year surcharges to stabilize and strengthen its system. These are the kinds of decisions every city is facing in a long-term drought. Zoho has arrived in Edinburg, and there are concerns about water availability, especially since AI and data center operations consume enormous amounts of energy and water, both of which are under strain. When our county judge said he caught the big fish with Soho, it sounded triumphant, but it also sounded a bit like Captain Ahab and Moby Dick. Ahab celebrated the chase, not the consequences, especially the long-term ones. And right now, Edinburgh citizens are being asked to cheer for a catch we're not allowed to see yet. What I can verify is that Zoho operates 16 global data centers, and data centers are massive water users, consuming millions of gallons per month across Texas already. We've seen what happens when Cameron County chases a big fish without asking enough questions. In Brownsville, SpaceX's water demand has strained BPUB so severely that residents now face higher bills, drought measures, and new restrictions. If Soho builds a data center here, that demand falls on Edinburgh's water system, doesn't it? Because the land sits in our ETJ, extraterritorial jurisdiction. That means our ratepayers, our infrastructure, and our drought reserves are on the line. Projects like this place major demands on water, electricity, and public infrastructure. How much water will they use? Who pays for new substations or pipelines? And especially, what incentives are they requesting? And what long-term value do Edinburgh residents actually receive in return? In Moby Dick, chasing the big fish didn't just doom Ahab, it dragged the whole crew down with him. Edinburgh shouldn't let someone else's white whale become our water crisis. Thank you, and I just have some.
The next public comment is Ms. Celeste Flores regarding city negligence and damaged property.
Hello. How are you guys doing today? My name's Celeste Flores. I own 3617 Hawthorne Avenue. My retaining wall was damaged with the city. I've been working with the city, went through TMP, and they denied my claim. And so I was told by the city manager that I would have to sue you guys. It's $1,800 in damages that I received. I have paid almost $50,000 since I've owned my property to the city of Edinburg. So I was wanting to make these public comments. I don't know, I have reached out to some people, letting them know my situation, if maybe you guys could help resolve it, or if there's something that can be done. I do not think going and having to pay an attorney to get my $1,800 plus legal fees would be the most economical reason, but that is what the city manager told me. I have the pictures. I'm not sure why TMP is based out of Austin, Texas. They didn't come and take a look at the damage. They didn't really do anything. They're in Austin, Texas. So I submitted my information and was denied. So I'm just reaching out today to see if there's maybe something else that could be done. Regarding this situation. I have the pictures if you want to take a look at them. The trash can actually has the cement embedded on it. So I took those pictures, and those are the same pictures I submitted. I made a police report, but nothing was done. So I've just maybe been reaching out. I just didn't know what else I could do in order to get this matter resolved. So if you guys could assist me in this matter, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
There are no further comments, Mayor.
All right. Just to explain, because we had a little bit more commenters than usual, you're getting blank stares from the city council because we're actually not allowed to respond. The city council can only talk about what's noticed on the agenda. So things like data centers, negligence, all these kinds of things. Since they're not noticed as agenda items, the city council can't go into the details of those. So I just wanted to make that super clear for everybody here, but we appreciate you all sharing the information. All right, so we'll conclude the public comment section and move into item 7, which are the public hearings. It's been our practice to have to call up anybody that has any comments on any of the public hearing items to provide those comments if you'd like. I think there were some gentlemen. You all had some items that you wanted to discuss? Yeah. And anybody that wants to talk about a public hearing item, you're welcome to come up. Yes. Yeah, 7A through E. Anybody that has anything to say about items 7A through E? We'll open the public hearing so you can come up and make a statement if you'd like.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and council members, this is regarding item 7E. Very briefly, we truly believe this project will beautify the area while staying true to the neighborhood's architectural style and character. This is a small, thoughtfully designed development meant to blend in, not stand out. We're fully committed to responsible long-term management, keeping the property clean, well-maintained, and professionally operated. Just as importantly, we will implement strict tenant screening to ensure a safe, respectful, and neighborhood-friendly living environment. Our goal is simple: to bring quality, attainable housing that strengthens the neighborhood and contributes positively to the city of Edinburg. We were also able to locate 3 small apartment complexes within a mile radius from the property that we're trying to develop. So we have a map we would like to share with you guys. Originally, planning and zoning told us since there were not small apartment complexes in the area, it was going to be denied, but we were able to find those. We also again, we care about what the neighbors think, so we went to the neighbors and we were able to get a few statements from direct neighbors to the property that also mentioned that, they are in favor of the development, that they prefer a newer development to beautify the area and also to help keep the area safer as well. That would be all. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this development is not a large apartment complex. It is intentionally designed to look and feel residential, with a modest two-story height, neutral exterior materials, general setbacks, and landscaping that blends into the existing streetscape. These building proportions, roofline, and facade treatments are consistent with the surrounding single-family homes, allowing it to blend seamlessly into the neighborhood rather than stand out as something out of scale. By carefully choosing materials and colors similar to those seen in nearby homes, this project will visually connect with the community and beautify the area with a clean, modern appearance. And beyond minimizing impacts, this project provides several key benefits. One of them is improved neighborhood safety with lining, pedestrian activity, and more eyes on the streets. It beautifies what is currently an underutilized lot with new landscaping, trees, and attractive residential architecture that enhances the character of the entire block. And lastly, it aligns with Edinburgh's goal of offering diverse, sustainable housing options without contributing to unnecessary sprawl. Our objective is to complement the neighborhood, not disrupt it. This development is scaled, detailed, and landscaped specifically to blend into its surroundings and contribute positively to the context of the community. We truly believe this project will bring long-term valuable vibrancy and inclusivity to this area. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did talk to two gentlemen here. I was hoping they would come up and kind of explain, because they did say that this was not the drawings. Did my little gentleman come? I don't see him. That what I'm concerned about is the one that comes off on McCall Road, right at the red light. And they were telling me, so would you please kind of describe?
Good evening, Mayor. I'm Donaldo Rodriguez, project engineer for the proposed project.
Abraham Jaimes with RGC Development Group.
I'm sorry, which item is this on?
10B.
Good, thank you. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to clarify on the layout that we have up on the screen. That was the initial layout the builder had proposed. We took a look at it from an engineering standpoint, detention and all that stuff. It wouldn't work with that entrance through McCall, so we're eliminating that completely, only having the entrance that we initially proposed for the apartments along Chapin. So that's one of the concerns that was brought up about having another entrance on McCall. We're eliminating that completely. So that's all I have. If there's any questions, we're glad to answer.
Ms. Fern, does that address your issue?
Yes, the safety is what I'm looking at. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Public hearing is still open for items A through E.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I will start off by saying Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a good holidays, and to all the staff as well. I know we work well with them all the time, so I'm glad to see everybody's here. I do want to pass out some handouts on the item that we're looking at. We'd like to have y'all's recommendation on. This is item 7D. I know we're up for recommendation on the change of zone. What I've presented is the conceptual site plan that we've been working on since we came to P&Z. What we had at P&Z was kind of more of a higher level kind of idea of what we were trying to do. Since P&Z, we've kind of looked at working with a designer and a builder on what we're actually proposing. We are staying true to single family use as far as the detached townhomes. So if you look at the first layout, these are the renderings that we're proposing. The second layout is some conceptual floor plans that we're looking at. This is going to be a gated community. This is what we're proposing. We've worked with different entities already with the irrigation district, drainage district. We have an approved drainage district report already. We are working under a timeline of feasibility period with the current landowner. And the developers are from Edinburg, and they do want to provide a good product to the city as well as their residents of Edinburg. So we're looking at y'all's recommendation as far as a favorable recommendation on approving the change of zone. This will allow us to complete the feasibility period and move forward with purchasing the property. We did submit the subdivision plat to the city, have reviewed with utilities, and I believe in the write-up they mention that they are favorable with some of the proposed infrastructure that we're doing. We are going to come back with, so in this zoning there's two types of dwelling units you can do, an attached and detached. An attached building structure will allow us to do more lots, more like 62, 64 lots. The developer has chosen detached for the reason of connectivity, and really he's given up lots, and we're going down to 54. The layout that you have in the packet as far as the subdivision layout was, like I said, a higher level. We've done a little bit more tweaking. We're down to 54 lots is what we're proposing. We're going to be going to P&Z for that, and we'll come back with the subdivision to council at a later date. So we'll be here to answer any questions, any concerns.
Can we ask questions now?
Yeah, you are free to ask questions now if you'd like.
So just quick question. So it's going to be a gated. This is literally right near my house. Are they still considered townhomes if they're detached?
Yes. Based on the lot size and the use, it's still considered townhomes.
So, and then it will be a gated community. What about the active drainage that's going to be around there? Is it going to connect into the one that's already there, or is it?
It's going to have its own on-site detention, and then it's going to bleed into the drainage infrastructure that's there.
Okay, so then are you going to put sidewalks around that area to connect it to the Somerset subdivision? Is it going to be connected?
That's a requirement that we will be fulfilling. Yes.
So you're going to be using that little detention pond right there already. You're going to be using that as well.
It's going to act as a conveyance system, which everyone on that corridor going north utilizes. But what we're doing is our own detention pond, so it would slowly bleed into that infrastructure.
So then, because I know that area, it backs up in my subdivision when it rains. Are y'all going to do any improvements to improve that at all, or anything? Like any type of improvements around there? Maybe do a walking trail around that little drainage, the detention pond, or anything like that to improve it?
Well, that's not preview to like the development, but that's something we could look at with staff. We are going to present some proposed plans on irrigation reroutes and things like that. We can look at that, but that really isn't preview to the development requirements.
Okay. Thank you.
Within our own detention pond, that would be maintained by an HOA, have some type of landscaping and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Just one quick question. So the proposed layout that's in our packet, that's not what you are planning to move forward with. You have a new layout?
Yes, and if you look at the layout, I believe we had one cross street at the very south end. We've come back and added an additional cross street on the front end. So we've reduced the lots, and that is what's going to be coming to P&Z.
Okay. Have you submitted that new layout to the department?
Yeah.
Have they given you comments?
So typically that will go back for preliminary approval.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to preliminary approval on the subdivision plat, but that would be subject to the P&Z meeting this Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they doing this? I see that P&Z approved. They approved the prior design. Is that what you're saying?
They approved the zoning.
Zoning. Okay.
It was so that's what we're trying to do is get the zoning,
and you come back with the plans.
Correct. Yeah. A very similar layout. We're just reducing the amount of lots to 54 instead of 58.
All right. Thank you.
Do a good job on it. Do a good job on that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Public hearing is still open. Items A through E. If anybody would like to make a comment. All right. Seeing no further comments, we will close the public hearing. At this time, council, I would recommend, of course, you all are free to make whatever motions you would like, a motion to approve items A, B, and C, since on those, for each of them, there were no comments for or against from the written and those were all unanimous approvals by the planning and zoning, whereas D and E do not have those same characteristics. So I would recommend a motion to approve items A, B, and C, and then separately we can make motions on D and E.
Move to approve A through C.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Item D, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion to approve and a second. I do have a question actually on this one. So on item D, my understanding is that the original design, and I know we're not here to talk about design, right? We're here to talk about zoning, but I think this gives us an opportunity, right? If we know what the design is, that may influence us not to approve the rezoning. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on kind of what is intended to be out there. But the design that was originally submitted, I believe that there was a staff recommendation was not to approve the rezoning.
That is correct.
Okay, could you explain that a little bit?
Well, our recommendation was based on the land use itself. Does this really belong here? Is this the best use that we can get out of these 6 acres?
Mm-hmm.
And based on the surrounding uses, we felt that it was too high density for the area. The design, as you stated, was for 58 lots. Now it's 54 lots, so they trimmed it down a little bit. But we did have a chance to review the preliminary design that was submitted, and it was going to require several variances. Now, we're not here to look at the design. We're only here to look at the rezoning aspect of this part. But they do need this rezoning before they can proceed to the preliminary plat approval.
Right. Okay. So the original design as submitted would require variances if they were going to move forward with the design.
That's correct.
Okay. Have you been able to review the revised design?
We have not.
Okay. So you can't say right now whether that will require variances or not.
And looking at what I saw right now, it's going to require variances.
Okay. All right. Okay. Other questions, council members? So I will say that does concern me, right? Approving and again, I know we're not here to approve the design or the plat. That's the secondary level that would come next. Once a property is rezoned, the assumption is that the developer has to comply with all rules and regulations. There's no variances baked into a rezoning. But at the same time, I don't want approval of the rezoning to imply that the city is going to grant variances. And if the design as submitted already says that they're going to ask for variances, then that does concern me. My preference would be for that to get worked out somehow. Again, it's up to the city council. We have a motion to approve and a second, and we'll vote on this in just a little bit. But presupposing, right, that we are going to accept the design, accept the rezoning, I don't want that to imply in any way that the city is going to automatically approve any requested variances.
Yeah, Mayor, you make a good point because I've asked that before. Why is it always that zoning goes before the variance? I get it. You can't ask for the variance until you have the zoning, but that's always been a question of mine. And so they have to abide by all rules without getting any variances approved if it does happen, correct? And what kind of variances do you think they're going to require?
You can't put conditions on rezoning. You either approve rezoning or you don't.
Correct. But when they come back with the plans for their building, variances can be denied.
Right. Variances can be denied. I mean, some of the variances that we were looking at was the street width. They were asking for 40 instead of 50. The lot widths, they were meeting the lot width codes. The square footage, those were just some of the ones that we looked at.
And also, I know some properties when you buy them, a lot of it's contingent on them rezoning it first, right? That's why that probably happens as well. So,
do you guys want to comment on that? The engineers want to comment on any possible variances?
Yes, as had mentioned before, in this zoning, you have a detached and an attached type of building structure you can do. What we would like to do is a detached. Yes, the land size, there's constraints to it, but if we were to do an attached homes, townhomes, which is, you have a cluster of buildings, single family, right? The density would probably go up. So what we're trying to do is find a common ground where we go detached, and we would look at maybe variances, and that's something that we're going to be discussing at P&Z. I know that that was a topic of discussion when it came to the item on the zoning, and we're hoping to clarify that at P&Z. Now, that is subject to our feasibility period. If we cannot get certain aspects of the development, then that allows us to give a better recommendation to the owner and the developer, right? At that point, maybe it's not feasible to move forward. So at this time, we're only hoping to get the zoning so that we could look at both aspects. What is going to be the best option for development, detached or attached? I am showing what we are conceptually looking at, but at the end of the day, this is not final, right? There's things that we have to give and take with staff before we bring it back to council. So.
Understood. And I do appreciate you trying to work with the city, right, to make sure that this is acceptable to city staff, working with some of the residents that did have comments against this. It seems like you've reduced the density, so I think that does address some of the issues, right, that had been written in. But I mean, you know, I try to be upfront about all things. And so the idea, right, that the only way that this project could move forward is with variances is something that I'm not comfortable with. And I think that if the city were to do the rezoning, so now we have, you know, a piece of property that's zoned differently from contiguous properties. If the variances are not approved, what's going to happen to that piece of property, right? At that point now, you have a zoning that's different. Is it going to have to be rezoned again back to primary, right, to be able to do something that wouldn't require variances? So these are all the things. I would much rather have a design at the outset, knowing what we're getting ourselves into, because this is really the city's primary point of control of what happens to that piece of property. And you know, I've said before that I'm generally not in favor of variances unless there's some exigent circumstances. And so looking ahead, that's my chief concern with this item.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate that. And I think the history of this property, we weren't the engineers prior to it, and there was a different developer. It was the same landowner. They do sign an owner's authorization knowing the facts of what is to come if you do get the zoning or if you don't get the zoning. Prior to, they did try to get that same zoning at P&Z, and they got denied. I believe where we're at and the due diligence that we do as far as like what we're proposing and we're showing, I think we're a little bit more advanced as far as like that discussion with P&Z. And I believe that's why we got that recommendation in P&Z. Mm-hmm. So yes, we will do our due diligence and work with staff on the best items we can. And we will present what we can, what we feel will be feasible at the end of the day. But we're just hoping for a favorable recommendation for the zoning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
One procedural question for you, Jaime, and I'm sorry for holding up this vote for so long. If we move forward, and now after discussion, a majority of the City Council denies this motion, they are then at that point not able to do the rezoning, even if they went back and redid the design, right? I mean, there's a whole other procedure that happens once you deny a rezoning request.
Once you deny the rezoning request, they have to wait 12 months to reapply for the same request. Mm-hmm. Now they could come back and apply for a lower density request like residential primary, and we would allow them to do that.
Okay. All right. So knowing that, right, I mean, I don't know what the vote's going to be, but I would almost much rather table the item, see if there can be some kind of design, right, in advance worked out so that everybody knows what we're getting ourselves into from the outset before the City Council has to make that decision. That would at least be my recommendation, but again, the Council's about to vote on this. Any other comments, questions? Okay. All right, motion to approve item D and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion passes. Item E, is there a motion?
Move to approve. Wait, item, which one?
E.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm on the wrong page.
Motion to go with staff's recommendation.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to go with staff's recommendation to deny item E. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 8A. Madam Secretary?
Yes, Mayor. Consider awarding bid number 2026-01 outside fleet repair service rate of off-warranty units to Carrera Hydraulics LLC of Monte Alto, Texas, CC Truckers LLC of Edinburg, Texas, and Capital Towing LLC of Edinburg, Texas, based on types of services and unit prices.
So moved. Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item 8B.
Consider awarding bid number 2025-15 CSJ 0921-02497 Freddy Gonzalez Hike and Bike Trail to Artillery Construction LLC in the amount of $1,135,213 and authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement related thereto.
All right, for this particular item, I would like to ask for a motion. We'll go ahead and take the motion and then we'll go into discussion. Any motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to approve the item. Just one point of clarification. There is not yet a final agreement with the proposed vendor for this project, correct?
No, I mean, we do have the agreement, the same one that we provided with the bids, which is the same one we've been using. The only things we tweak is basically the name and the contract amount and adding the milestones for the project. Like for argument's sake, for this case, we have 2 milestones created. This is a trail that goes from Raul Longoria to Klosner, so we created 2 milestones, one from Raul Longoria to I-69, I-69 to Klosner. So.
Right. Okay. Great project. Super excited about this. I think this is going to be a fantastic trail addition to the city. In general, these milestones to me are very important, right? What we don't want is a contract that just has a substantial completion date and then a final completion date. If there's a delay, if there's something going on prior to the substantial completion date, it makes it a lot harder for the city to either exit the contract or have some leverage, right, over the vendor. So I would much rather know what those milestones are in the final form of the contract. So for me, I would like to, if council is willing, to approve this item to award the bid, but subject to the final contract coming back to city council for final approval.
I do like that because I had a question. I'm glad that the lowest bidder was local, and I'm glad we're moving. But I noticed a disparity between what the engineers' projected costs were and the actual bid. Was that a TxDOT engineer that kind of line itemed each one of the things that?
We actually go with TxDOT numbers for any project that we bid. So the estimates tend to be a little bit higher than what we get locally. So yes, that's one of the main points.
Okay. And so where do we all hate change order? How do we assure there's no other change orders when we have a lowest bidder? And I know that, like you said, TxDOT bids a little higher or their estimates are always a little higher, but how do we assure that change orders don't take somebody from the lowest bidder to surpassing the second bidder?
Well, for argument's sake, this project, they were technically not the lowest bidder. They're the lowest qualified bidder, but there was somebody that was actually lower than them. But
the ranking was number 1 because of the qualifications.
Because of the qualifications, the way that it has to be ranked the TxDOT way.
Okay.
Now, and on this one, when it's federal funds or state funds, you have to go to the lowest bidder? Or?
Yes, we do have to go low bidder process, and I mean they're the main. We have worked with them before, so they're the ones that helped us with Lowell on the sidewalk project. They did our trails on Freddy Gonzalez as well, so we're comfortable. Will there be change orders? There could be some impediments that were not done when the plans were completed. That could be there. I mean, that's a possibility. Will it be without a change order? I highly doubt it. There will be minor stuff that comes along the way.
And to your point, Mayor, because this is a TxDOT project, TxDOT will have to approve the final form of agreement as well.
Yeah. That's good. I would also like the opportunity for City Council to approve the final form.
Yeah, of course.
So do we need to amend the motion?
Yeah, if the maker of the motion would retract and redo.
I'll retract and amend the motion to add the mayor's comments.
Okay, great. So there is a motion to approve item B and award the bid, but subject to the final contract coming back to City Council for final approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item 9A, appointments.
Consider appointments to the following City Advisory Board, Council, Commission, and Committee. Edinburg Economic Development Corporation, Board of Directors, 2 members.
All right, is there a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Homer Hustle for the EDC.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second to appoint Homer Hustle. I know that the board is full, so is there a trade out?
Greg Waskis.
Okay.
And you have to do that motion first.
No, we can do 2 motions.
Or you could do one.
Okay.
Well, then, let me make the motion.
Okay, do you want to retract your motion?
I retract my motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make
Mayor
a
Pro
motion,
Tem, please.
Make a motion to remove myself and Gregory Vasquez and appoint Jerry Lozano and Homer Hasso.
Second.
All right, great. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on to consent agenda 10. I will take a motion to approve items A through I, unless anybody would like to do a different motion.
Move to approve A through I.
Second.
All right, the motion to approve,
Discussion on that?
yes. Motion to approve A through I that has been moved and seconded. Yes, discussion?
Did somebody answer Fern's question on G? You got it, Ram? Yeah, that's all I had.
Evening, Mayor, City Council, Ramiro Gomez, Director, Solid Waste. Ms. McClarity, can you state your question again?
Well, I had just asked, and you missed my other when y'all voted without discussing it. So I do thank you for going back on this one, but you still missed one. We just wanted to explain what it was and why we're not using someone, just explain. They didn't know why we were doing it this way and why it wasn't.
Her question was, is that the lowest tired price or the service versus somebody local?
So originally, this is the second time this bid goes, actually it's not a bid, those are requests for prices. The original bid went out a couple of months ago. We went out and put it out for in a general bid, and there was only a couple of respondents. So the tires that we're bringing to you now are those tires that were not bid on that bid, and we went out just for general pricing from HDAC and those type of contractors, just to meet with the requests for those type of tires, which is extreme service demands, and only certain bidders really bid on those type of tires. So that's why we qualified these proposals.
Okay, that's what we needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
Excellent. Any other comments, questions? Okay, motion to approve items A through I. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Item 11A, any future items requested? Other business? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to executive session. Can I get a motion to enter executive session?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. We are now entering executive session. Time is 7:09 p.m.
Item A, consultation with city attorney regarding pending, potential, and/or contemplated litigation, settlement offers, and/or legal matters subject to the attorney-client privileges under the authority of the Open Meetings Act. Item B, discussion and possible action regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Item C, consultation with city attorney regarding personnel matters. Item D, discussion and possible action regarding economic development matters, Project Happy Gilmore.
Time now is 8:58. We are exiting executive session, coming back into the open. Can I get a motion to get back in the open?
Motion to.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. We are back in the open. Any action required at this time?
We don't have any action items required at this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. That being the end of business, any other business? No other business? All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.